Hey, deserving listeners, it's time for me to react to your comments from my videos from last week. Let's get to it. Love is Blind, number 51, Dave and Lauren in Bed, number 2. Full Corn member Lauren King says, there are so many reasons to get a prenup in a relationship, and it is reckless to not get one in a marriage to a literal stranger on a reality TV show that you have known for 4 weeks, even if you just have one asset. The amount of undisclosed things discovered and verified about participants on the show after the show airs are enough to demand a prenup in the pods. Just chiming in. Yeah, we can think about Tyler going on. Question. I won't be getting married without a prenup. Are you in or out on that? End of comment. Well, Lauren, I am in if that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. Other people might not be into that sort of thing, which is fine. And those should be negotiated between the individuals. There are a lot of assumptions about those who want to get a prenup that don't apply, but it can certainly be a helpful thing to do. In some ways, it's a way of eliminating the trouble that can happen later on, which is common in the United States. I think that the statistic is that if it's the individual's first marriage, there's a 40% chance of divorce. If it's the second marriage, then there's like a 50 or 55%. If it's the third marriage, then there's something like a 70%, or don't quote me on this, but it's up there in terms of the likelihood of divorce happening. So there's a pretty good chance, right? And one of the things that happens when people are going through a divorce is that there can be so much anger and hurt that the two individuals just hold on to assets and go after each other with all sorts of legal fees. And there can be a lot of damage that can happen, particularly if there are children. Whereas if you establish a prenup while you still love and like each other, and you have the freedom of mind and the clear mind to determine as a couple what would make sense, what would be fair, then there's a chance that you're saving yourself all that trouble, all those legal fees, all those debates and back and forth with lawyers and in and out of court by pre-establishing what is fair. So there can be a lot of good to that for sure. So yeah, I'm in if people are into it, and I'm out if people are out. Let's go on to another comment. All right, Love is Blind, number 53, Jealous Dave. So this is when Dave starts to exhibit what I'm calling jealousy. Full Corn member Chocolate Cat says, wow, I'm surprised at how much more sympathy I feel for Dave after hearing your hypothesis. I also grew up in a high-control environment as a teenager and felt that I had to monitor and police my life choices in unrealistic ways into my early 30s. It definitely made for erratic and paranoid behavior by me. I have more compassion for Dave now. End of comment. Well, first off, Chocolate Cat, it shows that you have a tremendous amount of differentiation and maturity and wisdom to be able to make those connections and admit those tendencies. It's not your fault, but you are acknowledging that you have an issue, or you've had an issue in the past. So there's that. And also, yeah, I mean, is it a goal of mine that people have compassion for the cast members? I mean, not explicitly. It's, I think, a natural byproduct of what I believe to be accurate conceptualization options. But yeah, I guess it is not a direct goal of hoping that people have compassion. But, the implication, if we go after these people and we say that Dave or that Madison or Mason or something, if we go after them and say that they are horrible, narcissistic, gaslighting, love-bombing, malignant psychopaths, then people ourselves, when we're watching, we will think, well, I'm kind of like that person. I'm not like those other people, but I think I'm kind of like, so am I a narcissistic, horrible human? So we have enough shame, unnecessary shame as it is. And so when we villainize these people, if anyone happens to identify, which happens a lot, especially when we hate literally every cast member. And, I think I've told you that I'll see conversations online about the cast, and it's almost like unless there's an individual that is decided by the mob that they're perfect and they can do no wrong, then there's this impulse. If anyone wants to say anything nice, they have to say, look, I know that this cast member is a horrible human being, but I have to say that I like this and this and this. Like everyone has to start with this caveat. We've all agreed that this person is a psychopathic, horrible, horrible monster, but I kind of liked his opinion and I'm just like, wow, just imagine if every time you had something positive to say about anybody that you had to have a caveat that allows you to say something positive, you have to say like, this person's a monster, so, don't cancel me in this conversation. So there's the byproduct of people identifying with the cast, and if there's more compassion, then people are more likely to look at themselves and benefit in a certain way while watching the show. But also, the cast does not deserve to be attacked and hated. It's sort of been, it's always been a mission of mine to protect the cast from unnecessary mob bullying. But I feel like it's just been getting on my nerves to such a degree, or I just saw it more explicitly this season, or it felt so ridiculously applied this season because no one this season deserves anything. There are previous seasons where you're thinking, well, I don't know, maybe like Jeremy a couple seasons ago, does he deserve? Maybe, I don't know. Or with Matthew, it's hard to know. Trevor, some of these other folks. I still don't think that a mob should go after these people. I mean, they have enough problems as it is. But do they deserve criticism? I think Jeremy did. I don't know to what degree he was bullied. I'm going to take a guess and say that it was probably too much. But if there was a cast member that I thought maybe... But this season, no. There's not a single person this season that you could argue possibly, Alex, if you believe the allegations, which I have to tell you are extremely thin. I watched the Ricky story time with Ricky. I don't know if this episodes of my reaction videos have aired yet, but anyway. So I don't know what my thing is this season, but I am talking about it more, and I don't know if I'm going to change. I'm sure I'm not going to change things overall, but I don't know. At least for us, let's not participate in that, and maybe let's even try to push back on that, or at least lead the way in terms of when you're ever in those conversations online, that you just, at the very least, don't participate in it, or maybe even have a different way of talking. And I guess at the highest level, when there is mob bullying, that you say, well, let's take it easy. I agree that this person can be criticized for this, but to go that far, to diagnose them, to claim that you know exactly what's in their head and because what the mob bullies will do is they will take one incident, one data point, and assume that there's a lot, it's the tip of the iceberg, right? That if someone did something like this, then they must do it all the time. And I know why they do it. It's because they're psychopathic, they are sadistic, they have no empathy, and they are a perpetrator. They're a horrible psychopathic perpetrator. And there's no way to know that, and it's extremely unlikely, is the thing. To look at Madison or Mason or who else, Dave, to go after these people is just, and especially Love is Blind, because these are not professional reality TV stars, Now, some people say some of these people are, right? I think Joey actually had auditioned to go on Bachelor or something like that. And Okay, but that doesn't mean that they're a and even if they were a professional reality TV star, that doesn't mean that, the gloves are off and we can just go after, it's like, oh, well, they're celebrities, so they should know better, or they're used to it. No, they're not used to it. No, what human would be used to that? What human could handle that? So the other thing is just because someone, while I'm on this topic, just because someone decides that they want to go on a reality TV show, that doesn't discount everything that they said and did, right? For Joey, because I heard some people saying that, oh, well, he wasn't really on the show legitimately. He didn't really want to get married to Monica because he was auditioning for this other show, and we figured out. And maybe, but that doesn't say anything. It's possible that he wanted to go on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, and as a separate issue, you can have both. You can both want to go on to go on any reality TV show, and want to find your person and get married, right? So all those things can be present in one individual. In fact, that would be assumed. I would assume that everyone who is on Love is Blind, at least in the interview, have stated that they, one, want to be on a reality TV show because they're on a reality. It's just like this notion that somehow the only legitimate cast members are just like plucked off the street, and they're like, what's a reality TV show? No, I don't want to. Well, okay, I guess if you it's like, of course everyone on Love is Blind wants to be on a reality TV show. They're that type of person. Most people probably would say, no, I don't want to go on a reality TV show. I'm too shy, or I don't want to be villainized, or I'm a professional and I don't want that kind of stigma or that kind of trouble or something. So they all want to be on a reality TV show. It's fine. And God bless that we have those people. Otherwise, we wouldn't have anything to react to. Anyway, so there's a lot more comments for me to react to, but the rest of this video, in which I just randomly complain about a lot of different things, will be for members of this YouTube channel. So if you want to hear the rest of this, become a member. Otherwise, please take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You really, really do.